Welcome to Phil Wilson Chats with Celebrities. And here's your host, Phil Wilson.
Beyond Aram is a singer-songwriter whose passion is to share compositions he's proud of, but his beginnings were a little bit different before inviting us to climb aboard the party train. And welcome aboard, Beyond Aram. How are you doing, Aram?
I'm good, Phil. How are you?
I'm very good, thank you very much. And it's great to see you and hear from you as well, because after the party train actually dropped in my inbox, I thought I've got to have you on the show because it's such a fun tune.
Yeah, no, it really is fun. And there's a big story about it getting the village involved in a dance, which we'll probably come on to, or we can discuss whatever you...
Yes, we'll be talking about that later on. Now, going back to your beginnings, and you were born in Hong Kong before coming to the UK, but I hear that from a young age, something other than music caught your attention. Please, can you tell us about that?
Yeah, I was really into horses, so I tried to become a dressage rider, and I competed in a few Asian games, obviously being from Hong Kong originally. Sort of around Asia, and then myself and my late wife, we set up a yard in Wiltshire, and she competed in a couple of Olympics. So, yeah,
wow,
my life was great fun.
Absolutely amazing. And I hear that a lot of travel was involved to go riding when you were in Hong Kong. How often would you make the journey? Because I hear it was taking over 3 hours sometimes, to get to your destination to ride.
Yes, that's right. Well, when I learned to ride it, because back then Hong Kong was much less well developed, so we'd have to go to the New Territories, which is basically on the border of China. And, being kids, you get a lift with someone or you get on a train, and the network was not as established as it is now, and you would go around the houses. But that's the joy of being keen at something, because you just do whatever it takes, don't you? Which is kind of the satisfaction of it, and it makes you hungrier.
Definitely. So what was it that you loved about the horses? Did you see something on the television? Was it something at school that you were like going, hey, these animals are just, something that I admire?
Yeah, I think I loved cowboy films. That's for starters. So, that I sort of was fascinated by them. And a few of the cool friends I had were riding. That sort of enticed me as well. And yeah, it just gave you a sense of freedom that, being in a built-up place like Hong Kong, you didn't really feel as a child. So getting on a horse and going over the countryside and that sort of thing, it was very novel. And I think that's what drew me into it at that stage. And then later on it developed because I got into dressage, which is a whole different sphere, much more thought and precision, and I think that's kind of what translates to music in my later life. But yeah, it was a development though. Initially it was the exhilaration and going jumping and things like that. So yeah, from a young person's perspective, it's fun. That's how I felt.
Because a lot of people, when they see Hong Kong, they just think of all of the bright lights, the big buildings, hustling, bustling things. And people obviously don't see the other side of it on the television, as it were, on these travel programs, to see, what else there is over there as well. Not just the big city, you've got all these lovely places as well that you can visit.
Yeah, exactly right. Lots of undiscovered outlying islands and countryside. And but you've got to go and find them, but they're there. So and particularly back when I was a kid, New Territory was very underdeveloped. It was full of paddy fields and shacks, and there was none of this high-rise stuff that exists now. So it was like going back in time in a way.
Yeah. I think the only bits that you would see probably on films and things were places like in maybe a James Bond film where somebody would be there going past these shacks and going down this river on a little, like one of those long canoe boats with with the motor on the back.
Exactly, that sort of thing. So no, but it was like, it really was. So it was like stepping away from, a built up area into a historic vision of what China might have looked like, and it was as clear as that. So yeah, fascinating. But yeah, there still are lots of beautiful places to go in Hong Kong. A lot of my friends still go hiking and things, and
Right.
go on a boat and go to other islands around there. So they still exist, which is nice.
Lovely. So it's nice that there's lots of unspoiled areas, as it were, that you're able to explore, which is absolutely wonderful. So everyone, get yourself over there to Hong Kong and have a visit. Now, your passion for, of course, horses and riding certainly paid off. As you mentioned, you rode in the Asian Games in equestrian dressage on numerous occasions. What was that experience like initially?
Oh, it was fascinating because, like, you go to Doha or Guangzhou or Korea, or and you see a whole different type of life to what you normally do. But of course, we were used to going in around Europe competing, and even that was fascinating, all the places you'd see. But in Asia, even more so. But then it is, those events were like being in Olympics. They're sort of, Asian Games are like Olympics for Asians because they have all the different competitions going on, all the different sports, and you'd see the athletes' village, and you'd see different sides of Asia that you wouldn't otherwise go and see because, by then I was more based in Europe, but I was going back to Asia to take part in these things, and then flying horses and all that sort of thing, and going into quarantine. It was all, very different and very fun, really.
Yeah, absolutely. It's absolutely amazing. Now, how long does it take to hone the skills of equestrian dressage, in case any of our listeners or viewers would like to take it up? And are there any tips for the beginner of how to get started?
Well, the good start is to find a good instructor, because, someone that really shows you how to do anything well and doesn't overcomplicate it is the key, I think, in all things, because, keep it simple, as they say. And that works in dressage as well. And then it's a lifelong journey, because, it's about, you can only hone and hone and hone, and there is no perfection. So you just climb the ladder. But the good thing is you can compete at all levels, from what they call preliminary level up to, Grand Prix, which is obviously the highest. But there's plenty of competition at each level, so you can have a lot of fun. And there's great crowds out there that do it, and it's all over the UK. So wherever you are, find someone to help you and get on with it. It's great fun, and it gave me a lifetime of pleasure.
And so, could you go to call up maybe your local riding school, and do you think they would be able to? Do you think they would specialise in that kind of thing, or is it something that is more specialised that you would have to go to some particular kind of riding school?
Well, I mean, most riding schools will help you with basic dressage, and then once you decide that's where you want to focus, then you'd find probably a trainer who's in your area who focuses on it more than, say, jumping. So, but up to a certain level, there's many people that can help you, even more all-rounders. It's just as long as they sort of think of dressage, they respect it. Then even if they're, say, eventers, where they do all the aspects, they could certainly help you up to quite a high level before you have to really go to a specialist. So yeah,
excellent.
There's possibilities.
Lots of possibilities. And is there a particular website that you know of that where people could go and maybe look for any riding schools that would particularly, especially when people who are wanting to really get into the dressage side of things?
Yeah, well, British Dressage have their own website, and they basically run dressage from grassroots up to the top. So they're the people to look to. They have a website and contact details, and they'd certainly put you in the right direction.
Excellent. And do you still take part in any dressage in between you doing your music?
No, not at all. I mean, I reached a point where I'd done it, and it had given me lots of pleasure, and then it was time for, chapters new. And I'd done a postgrad in drama before, and then when I had more time, when I decided I didn't want to ride anymore, I got really
Yeah.
involved in theatre and did lots of plays. So that was my next movement after dressage before I moved on to music.
Indeed, yes. And I was just going to mention that, yes, following a move to the UK, you studied drama and became a postgraduate, performing in many plays. Which plays did you act in, and were there any musical numbers featured, or was it more of the straight acting?
Actually, no, there weren't any musicals.
Right.
Yeah, no, I've done, lots and lots, so it's difficult to say which ones. The last one I did was a two-hander with a very good actress, and we did it everywhere from Oxfordshire to Cornwall, so
Wow.
different locations, and it was very funny. Written by a playwright called David Tristram, who I've got to know, and
Right.
he's a Birmingham-based playwright, and he's written some fantastic plays, and it's very funny. It features a couple, and they go off into fantasies where to sort of escape the humdrum.
Right.
But it gives you a chance as an actor to change accents and personas, and and it's a fantastic piece. And that was the last one I did before I just sort of focused on music. So it was a great one to stop with. I mean, I may go back to it, but we'll see.
Yes, yes. And what has been the most memorable performance that you've had on stage?
There was another one. This is scraping the memory banks, but
Right.
it was the film of it was Michael Caine was in it with Diane Cannon and Christopher Reeve, and
Right.
I'm trying to remember the name of it, but basically I played the Michael Caine character, and you're on stage for the whole play.
Wow.
So you have to know everyone's parts, and he's an American, and he's a playwright, and ostensibly the plot is that he's sort of gone a bit dry and can't rehash any of his old successes, and
Right.
then a budding playwright sends him a script which is fantastic, and he sort of plots to kill the guy. That's the
Oh, right.
thing that comes.
Drastic.
Yeah, that's the. But obviously, it's got lots of twists in it. Nothing's what it seems. But
Yes.
that was a fantastic one to do. I wish I could remember the name of it, but again, yeah. So
Yeah.
so many plays, and yeah, all different challenges. But that for having to know everyone's part, basically, because you're on stage until you get
Of
killed
course.
on the last page,
That's right. You've definitely got to be on your game with that one.
Yeah.
And when you have been performing, which has been the what you would call the best venue that our all venues are really good, but which is the one that you go, when you looked out in the audience there, made you go, I love it here. I'm at home here with this audience.
Yeah. Well, I mean, a lot of stuff I did was with a particular group in Oxfordshire, and I mean, it was basically a village hall which was used for, but it was like 120 people or whatever. But it was very much because you kind of every night you got there, you thought, oh, I'm back,
Of
So
course.
that's one where I felt most settled. Obviously, I've been to quite a few theatres and done plays as well in Hong Kong, as well as some sort of dubbing of Chinese films and
right, okay.
and things like that. They want you to do American accents all the time for the dubbing work. But yeah, and there were some big theatres in Hong Kong as well. But yeah, the one where I felt at home was because we did so many there in that venue. That was great,
Yes, a nice and homely atmosphere there, and it'll be nice when you can, draw from the audience as well. You can feel the warmth when you're on the stage there. Yes, nice and cozy atmosphere.
But there's nothing like the opening night when everything's gone dark and you can hear the voices in anticipation, and you're waiting for the curtains to open, and you can feel the butterflies in your stomach. No matter how many you've done, that's great fun. And I used to feel that with dressage as well. Just that excitement as you're about to enter the arena.
Yeah,
so that's all makes you feel very alive, which is a great joy.
Definitely, and it'll be a thrill when you walk away with a trophy as well at the end of it.
Yeah, that's the hope.
That's it. That's it. Exactly. Now, what was the first song that you ever wrote, and how did it go?
Okay, so the whole music journey started in the lockdown when my stepdaughter wanted an app to learn to play piano, and I
Right.
knew, there's every chance she'll get bored with it, like all kids. So I thought, well, if she's going to do it, I'll do it. So I
Yeah.
bought myself a baby grand clavinova,
Wow.
and I started playing 7 hours a day through the lockdown to get
Amazing.
good enough to play what was in my head, because I've spent a lifetime with tunes in my head, but no sort of avenue to release them. And then I got to the point where I could play what was in my head. I mean, I'm not a great pianist, but I can play what's in my head, which is really the key to songwriting.
Yes.
I got in touch with Dave Farnen. Now, Dave Farnen had written my late wife's last freestyle to music for her horse,
Right.
and which she competed at, all over Europe. And he's a very successful movie, TV songwriter. And his father had produced albums for Frank Sinatra, as well as being movie and TV, and won a Grammy as well.
Yes.
And so, because I knew Dave, his wife is horsey, that was the initial link,
Yeah.
I sort of messaged him with this little excerpt, which I was starting to write. And he said, Aram, it's okay, but why don't you go and Google this and do that? He never told me what to do, but he would just sort of, nudge me towards things. So I kept plugging away. And in the end, I came up with an 8-minute piece that is a child's story,
Right.
music. And he said, yeah, okay, it's finished, now leave me alone, kind of thing. So
Right.
I put that aside and I went back to acting for a year. And then a year later, I'm a big Arsenal fan, and his son, Thomas Farnen, was coming to Arsenal with us. So I thought, why don't I show him this? Because Tom, when he was at music college, did one of my, he wrote the music to one of my freestyles, which I did with my horse in Guangzhou in the Asian Games. So he was still at music college then. And then he went on and worked for Hans Zimmer in Hollywood for 10 years. And
Wow, we amazing.
did music for things like Batman Returns and all that sort of stuff. And then he's actually written the last two David Attenborough Mammal soundtracks,
Right.
So, he's again, in the family footsteps. He's gone on to become an amazing musician for TV and film. So, so I said to him, look, this is what your dad helped me write. What do you think? And he said, Aram, actually, it's very good, but I don't think we should just limit ourselves to sort of using fake instruments to create it. Why don't we go to Budapest? So we went to Budapest and got the Budapest Art Orchestra, who'd done the music for things like the Queen's Gambit, the fantastic orchestra.
Oh, yes, yes.
That was my first thing I wrote, basically. And the sort of shivers down your spine when you hear an orchestra playing your first piece of music.
Amazing.
Just something to believe, And the musicians, like in the interval, would come out and they were humming my tune. And I thought, that's wacky.
Amazing.
I couldn't believe that would ever happen.
No.
So that piece has been in the works of making a massive 3D animation, and that should be finished actually in July sometime, which is
excellent.
That's been a long time in the making. And anyway, so then I forgot about music because I'd written my piece. I basically retired in my head. But then last summer, in our village in Galanton, Cornwall, we were having our house renovated. So Elaine, my wife, and her daughter Connie and I were going to stay in an Airbnb in the village. And I found the bed a bit uncomfortable. And there was another one near the slipway, near the water, that had come up half price, And I said to Elaine, look, do you mind if I go and stay there? Because bed might be a bit nicer. And She said, no, it's fine. So I went down there and I took my keyboard because I hadn't touched it since I'd written this other thing. So I sat down and started to play, and I thought, well, why am I playing other people's stuff? Just play what's in your head. So I wrote a song, and then I sent it to Tom and said, what do you think? And he said, actually, it's pretty good. But you know what, Aram, if you're going to start writing songs, you need to write them. You can't just write one.
No.
Then I started churning them out, and that's kind of what happened. And then so we're going on Friday to Air Studios to see the album being mastered.
Wow, well, it'll be amazing, that.
Yeah, so that should be ready sometime in August, which should be fun. So to go from like zero to seeing an album with 15 tracks about to come out, that's correct. That's really sort of quite mind-blowing.
It certainly is. And the video as well, I mean, it'll be magical.
Yeah. And that's another one. And then, as you know, my first release was last Christmas, which was the other crazy one, which streamed over 1 million on Spotify, which is,
amazing.
You don't realize how amazing that is till you release some more and they don't do the same thing. You think, how did that actually happen?
Yes.
So this Christmas, I've written another an EP, which will be that song plus 4 others. So we've got the album coming out, then this child's animation, then the Christmas EP, and now I'm working on an album for next year. So it's like, what started as a bit of a hobby, it's sort of like overtaking my life, but I'm enjoying it. So.
Yeah, and we'll look forward to that album as well, and of course we'll have to watch out for the Christmas EP as well, which will be absolutely amazing as well. You're definitely full of busy there, I know that for sure, and you must have lots of melodies in your head still, which is really, really good that you're able to unleash onto the world. Now, you certainly have moved on leaps and bounds, as your debut single, like you mentioned there, streamed over 1 million times. But how did it feel like waking up to that news? Were you like...
Yeah, no, crazy. I mean, the thing is, but because you don't realize what Christmas does to the world, and I said to Tom, I'd been to see Matilda, and I couldn't believe how amazing these young actors were. And I said, I want a Matilda to sing the lead on this. And then so then they looked who might be available. And the girl she just finished 2 weeks before in Matilda. And so she came and did it. And she was so professional and so good. You're mind blown. These are just kids, but they're fantastic. Just
amazing.
Another one. So that really set the theme for that. And then you're sort of watching watching the streams, and on Christmas Day it streamed like 250,000 or something. It was
my goodness!
Like any one moment, there were 3,000 or 4,000 people listening to it.
Yeah.
You can't get your head around. So, I guess that's what the big stars have all the time. But for me, as a sort of, my debut single, I couldn't quite grasp it. So
yeah.
It was really fun. And my friend was in Bali in a bar over Christmas, and she heard my song and said, "Oh, I just heard this song."
Right.
So things like that. Yeah,
that's absolutely excellent. Well, you must be doing something right there, Aram.
Well, it's the people you have around you, and Tom is so brilliant at the producing and the arranging of all the tracks, and he kind of holds my hand because I really had no knowledge, and I've still got very little, but I've sort of learned on an exponential curve. You have to, but to have someone who's guiding you, who really looks after you, that is sort of priceless. So I've been very, very lucky.
Yeah, you have as well. And also you've released Lend Me Your Heart, Echoes of Sally, Surprise Party, which has actually had, to this date, 1.2 million views on YouTube, and also You're Everything I Want. And now your new single, Party Train, is bound to be a viral hit with its audience participation video. Please, can you tell us the story behind this inspirational song, Aram?
Yeah. So I wanted to write something that would get like a dance, like the Macarena or something that people would
Yes.
think, oh, we can dance to this. So that was kind of in my head when I was writing it. And so I thought, Party Train, why not? And then it came about like, okay, I can't dance. So I thought, well, who do I get to help me sort out a dance for this? So there's a lady in our village, Penny Parsons, who I'd known had helped people learn dance steps and things. So I reached out to her, and she, her friend Jenny Cleverly, another sort of choreographer, they got together this dance mainly for the chorus and a bit of a conga in the middle as well. And I said to them, look, it needs to be easy enough that people can pick it up, say they're at a wedding or whatever, and it comes on that they could learn it almost instantly. But it needs to be interesting enough that it's not, boring. So that's and they did a fantastic job. They showed it to me. I thought, that's terrific. So we put it out on the village email and said, who wants to come along to the filming of this dance? And it'll end up on the behind the scenes video. And there were over 20 villagers, all threw themselves into it, no inhibitions.
Wow.
And it's just genuine people having genuine fun, And so that's there. And then I've also reached out to a few of these TikTok influencers. So there's a couple going that are doing, but they kind of add a few bits because they're much younger.
Right.
So
yeah.
They do it, but they do it with, a few sort of extra moves, which is cool too, because you want it to appeal to everyone. So,
of course,
if the younger people want to make it a bit more interesting in their terms, that's terrific. So the main thing is I want people to enjoy the music, and we'll see. But so far, the initial views, the YouTube views, are already very good for the video. So hopefully the streams will start eventually, and then it'll be fun.
I think it's about I think it's nearly 130,000 or something when I last checked there, and that's only within 4 days to this date. So that is amazing. I love it. Now, the instructional video for the Party Train dance is great. Who was involved in the video? You said there was 20 people. Is anyone that you want to mention in particular? And who are the ladies doing the instructional video, as they must get a shout out?
Yeah, that's Penny and Jenny, the lady from my village, and her friend who lives in Truro. But they have a dance group together that they have in Lostwithiel, which is a nearby town. So it's those two that are sort of highlighting the how to do video, which is terrific since it's their brainchild. And the whole village is just awesome. And Simon Ray, who's a cameraman for Netflix and so on and so on, he goes around the world doing stuff. He happens to have a house in the village, so he filmed the village doing it.
Wow, that's amazing.
Yeah, so it all gets it all got done very well. But what you can't buy is genuine people just having genuine fun. I mean, I could have gone to any dance troupe and got them to do it much better and this and that. But they're doing it for as work. These people are doing it as fun, and you can't reproduce that. So I hope people enjoy seeing just people just having fun, and I hope if you're at a party or whatever and it comes on, you feel confident enough to go up and have a go at it, because it's an easy dance and a fun one.
That's right, and jump on the party train.
Exactly right.
Exactly. But now, whereabouts was it filmed, and how long did it take to learn the dance and make the video?
It was in the village hall, and they learnt the dance within an hour, and
amazing.
It was finished within 2, and then everyone went to the pub.
That's great, because I think it would take me days to learn it.
No, it wouldn't. It's so easy. Because
the way that they're moving in the video is amazing, and I love the glitter ball as well.
Yeah. No, it's a fantastic village hall. I mean, I've done play in there and things, so that it's really set up with a beautiful sound system, and great lighting. So they've really made it fantastic. So we have lots of entertainment in there, and it seemed a great location there, sort of central and walking distance to the pub. So
definitely, and it's got real villagers in there. They haven't been, got from a drama school or anything. Definitely real people in it. Really looks like everyone is having great fun as well. So everyone's going to have to check out the Party Train video there, which you can watch on Beyond Aram's YouTube channel if you check that out today, and all the rest of the videos as well. Now, do you have any future music or tours you can tell us about?
Yeah, well, any future what? Sorry?
Any future music or tours you can tell us about?
Yeah, the music, I mean, I don't know about tours yet, but the next one that will come out will be the title track for the album. That will come out on the 1st of August, I think.
Right.
Yeah. And that one actually I sing, which is so far I've been getting people to help me sing, but there'll be a few on the track that I sing, and including that one. That'll be the first one. So yeah, that'll be fun to see how that's received. And that it's going to have a video even on the Spotify. It's going to come out with the video on Spotify, which will be the first one that does that of my tracks.
Wow.
And that I got the guys who are doing the animation for my children's project to do an animation to tell a story to go with the song. And then Simon, the guy I told you about, the cameraman, he came and filmed me and sort of inserted me in bits of the video, singing, but not enough to take away from the story. So it's quite cleverly done. I'm quite proud of it, really. So I hope people enjoy that. Something a bit different.
Yes, watch this space, and we'll get that out there, and we look forward to watching that as well. Now, where can listeners follow you?
Well, if you can go to beyondaram.com, then all the links are there for all the videos, all the streaming, and all the news, and it's all there, and then it links you to Facebook and Instagram and so on. So it's beautifully looked after, not by me.
Right.
Yeah, it's a great website.
And also, if anybody wants to get involved with the the dance moves and things, there's instructional videos on there, and also you can learn the lyrics as well of the songs, because there's lyric videos as well on there.
Exactly right. So yes, please do visit. Yeah, enjoy.
That's right. So it's beyondaram.com is where you can find all of that information, and also find out how to stream and buy the songs as well. Now, on another note, the vinyl revival is here. So I must ask you, Aram, what was the first vinyl record you've ever bought, and what record and song would you play me if you had a record player beside you now and go, Phil, that's my favourite, that. You got to listen to that.
Well, the first one I ever bought, I believe, was Elton John, Caribou.
Right.
But in terms of my favorite, it would have to be a Prince track, because I was a mad Prince fan. I saw him 8 times.
Wow.
My sort of lifetime favorite song of his is Little Red Corvette. So,
Little Red Corvette. Yes, I love that one as well. That's a great tune as well. What was you like on stage there? What was the atmosphere like? Was it wild?
Wow. I mean, I've just been to see Robbie Williams a couple of weeks ago. He's an amazing entertainer. Right. But Prince was an amazing entertainer, but he was a virtuoso, because he could play 20 instruments at the age of 12, which
amazing,
bonkers. And he played lead guitar better than anyone I've ever seen. And he was just dynamite on stage. So, and he always had terrific backing singers and dancers, and just such a show. And, and such a wealth of great tracks. He wrote so many tracks that he didn't even do. And, the ones that are, well known by, like Manic Monday and
that's right. Yes.
Chaka Khan track, and all those sort of ones.
He wrote I Feel For You, didn't he, for Shaka Khan?
Yeah, exactly right. And the Sheena Easton one. So yeah, lots and lots of big hits that people had. And of course, Tom Jones covered Kiss, didn't he? So
That's right.
yeah, no, he was just awesome. So I think it would have to be one of his, and let's say Little Red Corvette.
Little Red Corvette, that's a really, really good choice there. Well, you're not going to believe this. We've run out of time. So if you can stick around and we'll have a little chat afterwards. But yes, I'd like to say thank you so much for joining me on the show this week. I'd like to wish you all the very best with the album and also with all of the other projects that you've got going on as well. And would you like to come on the show again? Have a frightened year way?
Of course, I'd love to, Phil. It's been great. Really enjoyed chatting.
It's been a privilege as well. Now, finally, Beyond Aram, please could you introduce your latest single, Party Train?
Well, I hope you all enjoy climbing aboard the party train, because here it comes.
All aboard! Thanks very much, Beyond Aram. All the best, and we'll speak to you soon. Take care.
Cheers, Phil.